when I agree to review a watch, there's a basic perceived understanding. A brand sends one over, I give it an honest review, nothing more, nothing less. That's how this channel works. However, this time Geya mentioned that if it wasn't for me, I could return it rather than post a negative video, but that's not how I work. If I agree to review something, it gets reviewed fairly. Whether it's my style or completely the opposite. And frankly, there are things I like about watches that aren't to my taste, and things I don't like about watches that I've been lusting over for years, so this one will be no different. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you tune into watch reviews and get influenced by the reviewer's opinion, or do you just want a good look at the watch and take everything the reviewer says with a pinch of salt? Hopefully, most of you are in the latter. But as usual, I won't be keeping it. It'll be given away to one of my members. That way there's no incentive for me to just be positive, to keep the relationship open, to build up a collection or an eBay store. So if you fancy the chance of grabbing this or any of the other watches I review, then please consider joining my fully loomed family by hitting the join button below the video, and while you're there, a like and subscribe would be amazing. For transparency, this one was sent to me for free in exchange for a review. I wasn't paid for this video, and all opinions are my own. Now, with that out of the way, let's look at what they've actually sent. There's no getting away from it, this one isn't to my taste. It's flashy, big, and wearing it makes you feel like a cross between a gangster, Anthony from the Timepiece Gentleman, and Ben 10. But if you're into this sort of thing, there is stuff to like. The case is made from crystal clear TR90 polymer, and it looks and feels a bit like glass. And at this price point, that's probably the right move. If this was actual glass or sapphire at this size, it'd be a door frame away from becoming another thing in your wheelie bin that won't be collected for 3 weeks because the council's skint. This at least feels wearable. Bold, yes. Sensible, relatively. The dial is busy, properly busy. Layers, bridges, cutouts, everything's happening all at once. It looks aggressive and almost confrontational, and telling the time clearly wasn't the priority. Specs-wise, it's a 43.5mm tonneau case, 15.8mm thick, which you will absolutely feel. A push-pull crown with just 30 metres of water resistance. I'll get back to the case back. And an automatic 3Hz skeletonized movement that I'm fairly sure is a Hongzhou. And yes, thanks to the subscriber that pointed out my pathetic attempt at pronunciation last time. You get 2 silicone straps, both with an Apple Watch-esque easy strap system, and all this coming in at around £300, which, to be fair, is baller money for a Chinese watch. But if you do fancy it, you can knock 10% off with a coupon code GeyaRed10. But is it actually worth it? Well, I'll show you it, point out what I like and don't like, and let you decide. The case is made of clear TR90 plastic. It looks like glass, it's properly clear, and it even feels a bit like glass when you first touch it. TR90 has decent scratch resistance. It's what most modern glasses frames are made from, but let's not pretend it's sapphire or even mineral glass. So it will pick up marks over time. That said, for something like this, it's probably the right choice. It keeps the cost down, the weight reasonable, and it's almost certainly going to survive a better knock than a giant slab of sapphire would. And unlike sapphire, you can actually polish TR90, so if you do scuff it up, it's not the end of the world. I'm a big fan of the barrel shape. The top view is especially amazing and adds some nice distortion and depth when you look at it from different angles. But I do prefer how brands like Frank Muller use this shape in just a bit more of a restrained and elegant way, rather than the Temu RM this is clearly going for. From the side though, that girth is so serious it's made me a bit jealous. It's just so thick. I personally don't get the appeal unless you're a convicted fraudster watch dealer with a YouTube channel and a taste for investing other people's property, but there's clearly a market for this. I'm just not it. Execution wise, it's actually decent. I've got no idea if this is injection moulded, CNC'd, printed or hand carved from natural plastic tree trunk, but the finishing is clean with no sharp edges, no ugly seams, and it feels put together properly. The push-pull crown is massive, which it clearly needs to be, and the rubber O-ring makes it easy to grip. It's signed with the GeyaG logo, which is a nice touch, but flip it over and things get a bit strange. There seems to be no removable case back. There are screws running through the entire body of the watch, which I'm assuming are part of how you get this thing open, but the heads look decorative rather than functional. I genuinely can't figure out how you get into this thing if it needed servicing. So maybe once it's running poor, it's simply time to chuck it in that wheelie bin. However the case back is attached and sealed, the 30 metres of water resistance is underwhelming. And if you're not sure what 30 metres means in real terms, it basically means no water resistance. Through the back, the movement actually looks pretty good. I believe it's some kind of Hongzhou, though Geya don't specify, so that's educated guesswork. The rotor, however, is one of the noisiest and rattliest I've ever heard. So loud, in fact, that I considered opening it up and tightening something. But I still don't know how you get into it. At first glance, the dial looks like a bit of a mechanical mess, just parts glued and screwed in everywhere. But look at it for a bit longer and it's actually quite refined with clear layers and structures to it. The chassis is built up in multiple layers and parts of the movement are worked into the design to show them off, like the balance spring sitting at 6 o'clock. It's clearly busy, which is what you'd expect from a skeletonized dial, and if you like this sort of thing, there's plenty to stare at. I like the GeyaG logo at 12 o'clock, that works. What I don't like is the full Geya text dumped at 3 o'clock. It spoils the symmetry, and that name still feels like a 12-year-old boy's friend group taunt aimed at whichever one of them has a new hairstyle or got new shoes that week. But all this busyness does highlight one big issue. It's difficult to tell the time. No matter what time it is, it takes a few seconds to scan across the dial, find the hour hand, find the minute hand, and then actually read it. At first glance, it's pretty much impossible. And the seconds hand, it may as well not be there. Look, I understand that this is meant to be more form over function, and that's fine, but I think it goes too far. If they'd used solid hands instead of skeletonized ones, and maybe added a splash of colour to the seconds hand, it would improve things massively without ruining the look. Don't get me wrong, I actually like the dial. It feels different and very custom. And Geya are very keen to remind you of that as well, with Geya Customised printed across the top of the dial, just in case you forgot. One thing you can clearly see is the loom, a bright green C2 cross running through the dial along with loom on the hour markers. Thankfully, they stay consistent by applying less loom to the hands than the parts of the dial that don't actually tell the time. On the wrist, it's surprisingly well balanced. It's light, the case follows the curve of the wrist nicely, and the silicone strap has loads of adjustment holes. From the top down, it actually looks like it fits far better than it really should do. From the side though, still ridiculous on my 6¼ inch wrist. I'm sure it would look better on a more well-and-downed alpha specimen, but for me, it's just a bit too much. As for when you'd wear this, I'm not entirely sure. Definitely not with a shirt, even a jumper would struggle to cover it. So maybe this is reserved for the days when you're in a skin-tight Gymshark t-shirt or a black tank vest. I do like the strap system though. It just slides in and out and held in place by friction. You get 2 silicone straps, this black one and a translucent white one that sort of reminds me of those jelly shoes toddlers used to wear at the beach. The black strap though feels solid and thick and comes with a chunky buckle with the Geya branding on it. Overall, it does feel well executed. The dial is well finished and fairly original, at least to me, although I've never been deep enough into this style for comparisons to jump out. If you like this sort of bold skeletonized design, there's probably enough here to keep you happy. Whether you'd want to spend 300 notes on it, that's up to you. Thanks for watching, please like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.